line. Let's keep it going here. It's containing COVID. Again, we're KUAM-FM. I got in Guam. We'll stay on the phones, and we'll go with the executive director for the Mayor's Council of Guam, Mr. Angel Sablan. Good morning, Angel.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Angel.
So we'll just first start with there was a meeting yesterday, right, for the council. Do you want to just kind of go over what was discussed in that meeting?
Well, the meeting yesterday actually was for GDOE to relate to the mayors their plans for opening up the schools, and our meeting with the Island-wide Beautification Task Force of what we're going to be doing this Saturday, and then a meeting with our own senior center staff and adult daycare staff for the eventual reopening of our centers.
Right, and I know that Mayor Hoffman had told me something about that. So what can you tell us about the eventual reopening of the senior centers and the adult daycares?
Well, at this point in time, we still do not know when we'll open. It's probably until we get into PCOR 4, but in the meantime, we are trying to...
PCOR 4?
Well, the Armanamco are the most vulnerable,
right.
So we want to make sure that they're in a place where they can be safe, and we can be sure, too, that we're providing them an environment where their families can feel comfortable that their loved ones are being taken care of or are in a program that they don't have to worry whether they're going to, be subjected to this COVID. So, in the meantime, what we're doing is we're putting together a plan as to how we're going to open, whether it's seating arrangements, whether it's retrofitting our centers. But it's not that if we're not open that we're not doing anything. We're actually putting a plan together to see how we can continue to engage our seniors. In this time of isolation and being alone is not a very good thing for them. So we're trying to make sure that we still communicate with them. Our centers have been told to call them daily, speak with them daily, ask them how they're doing, whether they need anything, whether they have food ready for them, whether they need medication or things like that, so that our elders can feel like somebody's still out there that cares for them, even though they're not in the center where they mingle around with all their other friends that usually come. We feel that even though we may open, someday, that we will probably not be able to get all of them back, simply because probably they fear that, or they're not sure that they want to come back into a situation where they may get infected. So we're putting plans together, maybe like a Zoom bingo, maybe an exercise class, a field trip for them, and things like that. So, yeah, we're that's how we got together to make sure that we keep being in touch with them, even though the centers are closed.
Yeah, PCOR 4 could be a long way away. Because
that could be next year.
And that's when we have a vaccine.
And there's no masks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And talking about masks, the Manamco, it's very difficult for them to put on these masks or to wear it all day long. Mm-hmm. So these are the kinds of things that we have to consider. But like I said, we're keeping that feeding program going, our care calls to make sure that we get in touch with them every day is being done. But we're working together to find out some other ways that we can engage them and make sure that, they don't feel alone or left out.
Okay. I wanted to follow up on the recycling revolving fund and the MOU that's before the Attorney General's office. It's been there for a bit. Have they reached out to you guys? What kind of concerns are there with this?
Yeah. Excuse me. The MOU is actually at the governor's office now. It's left the AG's.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for the governor's signature on it. And it goes back to EPA for them to record it. Then it comes down to us, and we'll be ready to go. Mm-hmm. So if it's not today, tomorrow, then probably first thing Monday.
Mm-hmm. And this is the recycling revolving fund, the money that's supposed to be used for the abandoned vehicles, right? Or
that's correct. The time frame we have left of this fiscal year is just we're in the last quarter. Yeah. So we're going to be receiving $400,000 And the board at EPA has indicated that if we use up the 400,000 like in July and we need more, then they'll just go back to them and ask for additional funds. But the good thing is that they've already also approved 900,000 for the beginning of the fiscal year, October 1st, so that we don't have to keep waiting around again to see whether or not we're going to receive this money. So we used to get 1.3 million, but that's for the entire year. And now that we're down at the last quarter, 400,000. Hopefully, we can extend all of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yes, it is for the abandoned vehicles. It's for the tires. It's for the white goods, the loose metals, and the greenways.
All right.
Okay, I had just a couple questions, Angel. So I don't know if you heard earlier with Mayor Jesse, but so I got the FOIA. They come to find out a bunch of the mayors and vice mayors got the 15% COVID differential pay. And, we can just go all day about whether or not they deserve it. But definitely, looking at the work that they did, they were entitled to it, I'll say.
They were out there, out front.
Right. So I guess just first, how long did they get the COVID differential pay, and are they still getting it?
For those that are still claiming, unless they tell me that they don't want to receive it anymore, then they are still receiving it. Mm-hmm. They are not all mayors are getting it. Some have opted out to not receive it, but for the most part, most of them are getting it.
The count I had, Angel, was five mayors opted out.
Yes. So that's why I said for the most of them, they are getting it.
Right. And so just so we can clarify for the news, it's Mayor Ernest did not get the COVID differential pay, Mayor Jesse Gogui, Mayor Jesse Alleg, Mayor Doris of Inalahan, and the vacant Jotnia mayor at that time.
Yes, and I believe also the mayor of Hagåtña was opted out.
Mayor Hagåtña. Okay. So what was the reasoning for these mayors who opted not to get the differential pay? What was the conversation like?
Well, you probably already asked them why. Some of them felt like, they want to do the work and they just want to do it without having to receive the additional pay. They just, I applaud them for that. That's what they wanted to do.
Right. And then what was the conversation like with the ones who did get the COVID differential pay?
Well, like I said, they were there out front. They were leading their troops. They were leading their staff and meeting those that they don't even know whether the people that they're meeting or working with have COVID or not. So, and the executive order did not deny them from getting this. So,
and then
we gave it to them.
I guess lastly, is there a dollar amount you can affix to the 14 mayors and vices?
I don't have a dollar amount to date. Payroll and DOA would have that because they do all the compilation and of all the amounts. But I did an estimate from the time this started to because they asked us for an estimate from the time it started to December 31st of this year. Whether or not it continues, and we're looking at almost $1 million. This is including their regular pay.
And this is just for mayors and vice mayors, not the staff?
No, the whole entire staff.
I see. Okay. So $1 million from March 17 to December 31st, and that covers COVID differential pay at the 15% clip, right? That's what everyone's getting?
Right, inclusive of their regular pay.
Right. And so does that million also include the regular pay for the staff?
Yes.
Okay.
To everybody.
So how much out of that million is just strictly COVID differential pay? Do you know?
I don't have those figures right now, Chris.
Okay. So again, they were out there doing the work. Was there? Because it's just interesting to me that, and I wouldn't expect them to mention it at any point, but I'm just wondering why it didn't come up.
What did not come?
That they were getting the COVID pay.
Nobody asked, I suppose.
Well, I think I said it earlier. I think you guys have earned it and deserve this COVID differential pay. I mean,
I didn't say they didn't deserve it.
I know, but I'm just saying that.
And up to now, they're still doing it. I mean, we had the mayor of Agani Heights out there yesterday with there's testing site. Barragata the day before. Derrida was out there way early when they were doing the site testing and the cluster testing, like in Gafagumas and things like that. And the meals that are given out every day, the mayors are there at those centers, and they also are the ones delivering to these homes. And so, like I said, I don't blame them. They're out there working just as hard as anybody else, even as hard as those that are on the way front line, like the health professionals. So.
Did you hear if any other elected officials got the COVID differential?
No, I don't know.
How about the senators? Boy, that would be something.
Yeah, then that's when I would be.
That's when she would be.
Up.
Right now, she's like, Chris, what's your problem? But if it was the senators, she'd be like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, because I didn't. You don't hear about them out there.
Feeding people? No, yeah.
Visiting them in UMCOs and directing traffic. Things like that. But hey, I wanted to follow up on the homeless situation. And if you guys received any word, because I know the mayors have been concerned about the homeless situation. They've been wanting to hear what are the plans with the homeless situation. Been waiting to hear about these hardened shelters for the homeless population. Do you have any updates on what's happening? Because
I'm in the same boat as you. We are also waiting.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
They said this week, though.
We've heard that they already have two locations that, just, I guess, waiting for all the documentation to be done.
Signed,
I heard one was in Deddy, though. Is that accurate?
I don't believe so.
Okay. How about Molesto?
I don't believe
I can just go down the line, Angel.
How about
Agania?
How about Agania?
Well, you don't have to go down the line until you hit it on the head. I believe it's in MTM somewhere, Mongototomite.
Okay.
MTM. Okay. We're talking about MTM.
Yeah, Mongototomite.
Like a hotel
apartment, or
I believe so.
Which one? Apartment.
They just said it's an apartment complex. So, which one? I don't know. I don't know which one.
Is it one that's empty?
I hope it's empty. I'm going to move them into a place where people are already living there.
I'm just wondering if it's a whole unit that's empty, how many units, and I'm pretty sure we'll find out. You know us, Angel, we're always trying to get it before we can get it.
I know you, Chris. Yes, you're trying to get it before you get it. Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah, but that's the last, like a couple of days ago when Mayor Hoffman was speaking with us, he was saying that it's an MTM.
Anywhere else? Just MTM.
He meets with the homeless
homeless coalition.
So he would be the person to talk to.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We'll get him. We'll get him for tomorrow, maybe. Angel, anything else here? Oh, can I just ask about the stray dogs? I remember before the COVID, you guys had a meeting, and then Agriculture Director Chelsea came down. You talked about a roundup, or you forcing the owners to register the dogs, or it was still in the talks. Have we made any progress?
We're waiting for that legislation to either have a public hearing and acted upon by our legislature. But what we have done is we've already supported the Department of Agriculture in their grant application for some funds to purchase traps for the dogs and for the feral pigs and for other paraphernalia they need to get this program going. Hopefully that they'll get that grant. We have it on our agenda for our Wednesday meeting next week, so we'll bring it up again then.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to switch subjects. I know we've talked before, and you had mentioned that the mayors were looking at still possibly holding liberation memorials. Has there been any more discussion on that?
We'll be discussing that on Wednesday as well.
Okay.
But we do want to work with you or any other entity that actually wants to put this together. We spoke briefly about it the day before our officers meeting, and we wanted to do something not just for Liberation Day, but in memory of the lives we lost during the war, both our own people and the military, and we want to and in memory of them, because that's what we want to do this year, is to just remember, reflect, and renew our lives. And if those three words are any hint to you, they may be a part of a theme that we're going to come up with for the 76.
I feel like we can do something if we're doing a huge island-wide cleanup, but totally necessary. But if we can have that many people out, I feel like we could do something with memorials. So but that's something we're really interested in, Angel.
We could, and we're working with you guys on that.
Right.
All right. I guess we'll be talking soon, if not later today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
Angel. Thank you.
You take care.
All right. Take care, Angel.
You too. Wash your
All
hands.
right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. I will.
Okay. Yeah. There you go, Angel Sablan, the executive director of the Mayor's Council of Guam, saying, hey, the mayors go out, they do the